Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 15, Text 24. Spoken by Prithu Maharaj, with translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Mahad Gunanatmani Kartamisha Kastavakaistavayate Satopi Tesya Bhavishyan iti vipralabdho Janavaha Sankumatir Naveda Mahadgunanatmani Kartamisha Kastavakaistavayate Satopi Tesya Bhavishyan iti vipralabdho Janavaha Sankumatir Naveda. How could an intelligent man, competent enough to possess such exalted qualities, allow his followers to praise him if he did not actually have them? Praising a man by saying that if he were educated he might have become a great scholar or great personality is nothing but a process of cheating. A foolish person who agrees to accept such praise does not know that such words simply insult him. Purport. Prithu Maharaj was an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Lord Brahma and other demigods had already testified when they had presented the king with many heavenly gifts. Because he had just been coronated, however, he could not manifest his godly qualities in action. Therefore, he was not willing to accept the praise of the devotees. So-called incarnations of Godhead should therefore take lessons from the behavior of King Prithu. Demons without godly qualities should not accept false praise from their followers. We sung together a song, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, explaining why he won't accept the worship of anyone and why he will simply identify himself as the servant of his Guru. And we've also read from Srimad Bhagavatam how Prithu Maharaj, upon being praised, said that if you praise me for qualities that don't exist, then it's like an insult. It's actually quite humorous. Praising a man by saying that if he were educated, he could have become a great scholar, it's not praise. It's an insult, actually. So saying that, well, if you didn't have such big nose and an ugly face, you could have been very handsome person. It's actually an insult. It's not praise. It may sound like praise, but it's not praise. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, Amanina Amanadena Kirtaniya Sada Harihi. The holy name of Krishna is to be chanted, to be glorified by persons who are always desiring to give honor to others and never desiring praise for themselves. So that is the qualification. Some of them. There are so many qualifications to be a Vaishnava. These essential qualities. Trinadapi Sunicana, Tarariva Sahishtana, Amanina Amanadena, Kirtaniya Sadahaya. I hope you all know the translation of this. Sham Chandra knows English? Can understand English? Yes. Really? How's his English? You don't want to listen to the translation? That would be better. You can see Tamil translation is there. So this is the Mahavakya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Shankaracharya has made, he's imagined Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma. He's imagined these terms which don't very specifically state it. Actually they do, but for persons more foolish, they don't explicitly explicate the role of the jiva. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given very clearly, this is actually the Mahavakya, or the essence of all the Vedas, all knowledge. Just like we hear in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Kripa Karo Vaishnav Thakur Shambhanga Janiya Bhajite Abhiman how dur. That when we know what is our relationship with the Supreme Lord, knowing that, then going on with our worship of Krishna, then all the bad qualities by which we can't perform kirtan, we cannot perform kirtan if we're puffed up. So that will go away by performing sadhana bhakti on the basis of sambandha gyan, of at least theoretically accepting I am the servant of Krishna, and going on with our sadhana bhakti, cultivating Trinadapi Sunichena Tarariva Sahishnana Amanina Amanadena Kirtaniya Sada Harihi. So cultivating these qualities, if we perform sadhana bhakti, then we will attain siddhi. Sadhana leads to sadhya, or the goal. So what is the goal? That we shall dance with Krishna in Vrindavan? Maybe, if he wants us to. That's not for us to say. Our goal is to accept it. I am the servant of Krishna. Then, whether we're serving as gopi or gopa or mother, father, blade of grass, drop of dust, that Krishna will see. Or rather, Yoga Maya, who's orchestrating the activity, she will see. Not that I think I'll be a gopi. But we should know, first of all, what is our sambandha? Our sambandha, our relationship, we're servants of Krishna. But then, if we think now I should be worshipped, then that's taking the position of Prabhu, of Master. So that's opposite. We may say that, well then why do we call other devotees Prabhu? Why should we call out Jagannath Mishra Prabhu? And he'll turn around and say, yes, it means he's accepting, yes, I'm your master. Vaishnava shouldn't think like that. He's calling me, yes. Yes, you're calling me, yes, I'll tell you now how you should serve me. You're ready, you're calling me means you're calling me Prabhu means I'm ready to serve you, so I'll tell you now what you should do to serve me. But rather he'll turn around and say, how can I serve you? If he's learned Sanskrit properly. If we actually learn Sanskrit, then we shall learn Dasosmi. I am the servant. Dasa and the Dasosmi. I'm the servant of the servant. Except to be called Prabhu means that we, at least theoretically, identify that we have been accepted at Prabhupada's lotus feet. He is Prabhupada means Vishnupad, means he's situated at the lotus feet of Prabhu, and at his feet there are also Prabhus. So by saying Prabhu means that accepting to be called Prabhu means to accept that this much hope I have, this much faith I have, that our Guru Maharaj has accepted me in his service. So I'm not hopeless. I'm not without a master. I have a master. And he has instructed that Vaishnava should address each other as Prabhu. So on that basis I'm accepting, yes. I'm accepting to be called Prabhu in as much as this means I'm accepting that I've been accepted by my spiritual master at whose lotus feet there are so many Prabhus. So though I'm not fit to be called to be called Prabhu, and I shouldn't consider myself Prabhu, but because the order of Guru is there and his example is there, he addresses his own disciples as Prabhu. Then we should not reject that. So on this basis, not thinking that I'm Prabhu, thinking I am Das, but on this basis we can accept to be called Prabhu, which is actually a name for the Supreme Lord. He is Prabhu. But those who serve Him, those who engage in His service, they can also be accepted, or must be accepted. If we are to serve Prabhu, then we have to serve His servants. So in this way they become, on His behalf, giving instruction how to serve Prabhu, as they have heard from their Prabhus. This is the system. That one Vaishnava will engage others, his organization, how to serve the Supreme Lord. There are servants and there are subservient servants also, who assist the servants in their service to Krishna. Serving Krishna is not such an easy thing. We can sing. We like to sing. We'll pull out the harmonium and sing. Chamara dulabo kobe, heribo mukha chandra. That I'll fan Radha and Krishna and see their beautiful lotus faces, we like to sing. It's not such an ordinary thing. If we can get the opportunity to bring the chamara to who will fan, the Rotam Das will fan, then we will be, that is an extreme good fortune which we can hardly imagine. If we can become the servant of the servant. So therefore, to attain eligibility, here, adhika, the word, is Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that by worshipping in this mood, amani namada hoile kirtane adhika dibetuni, by in this mood of not wanting respect from others, being ready to give respect to others for their devotional qualities, then in this way we can perform kirtan, and in this way he's addressing his guru. You will give the opportunity or the eligibility to perform service to Krishna. So one should not be puffed up. And generally if we hear someone praising us, then we think, yes, very nice. That Prabhupada, I didn't get the chance to personally hear Prabhupada many times, but at one time, one of the few times that Prabhupada was describing how to preach. You go to a materialistic person and praise him, and he will say, yes, this person has understood. Everyone else in the world is a fool, but this person has understood. Everyone else says, I'm a fool, but this person says, you are very good, you have so many good qualities. This person has understood. So then he'll listen to what you say. And then you tell him, you fool, you rascal, just kick out all your nonsense ideas and surrender to Krishna. This is how to preach. Devotee asked Prabhupada how to preach. He gave this. You go flatter. And then when you got his attention, you tell him, you kick out all your hogwash ideas and simply surrender at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, you've all assembled here today, and I can thank you for coming from various places. What for? To insult me. Here it states that a foolish person who agrees to accept praise does not know that such words simply insulted. So, presumably a little later there will be some praise of the person who's presently sitting above you, speaking into a microphone. So this is for insult. It might seem like that if we take the version of Prithu Maharaj, or it may seem that I'm not following Bhaktivinoda Thakur because he refused to. He won't accept followers. He'll just worship his own guru. But then we find that actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur did accept disciples, and he did instruct others, and he's praising the guru. Does that mean that the guru, he's a fool to be insulted by being praised? What's the mystery here? What's going on here? Well, I can thank you for all coming here for Vyasa Puja. Means that on this day or thereabouts, when I was born in this world, I don't know exactly the date, they say January the 3rd, but it's probably correct, but they didn't give any time. But according to Tithi, it's on the solar calendar, it's moving each year. So, on the order of Srila Prabhupada, I have to instruct you as he instructed us, so that I may not become puffed up. You have very kindly come here to remind me that I'm supposed to be worshipping Srila Prabhupada and all our acharyas, who are representatives of Vyas. That this birth has become successful to the extent that I realized that my real birth was at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And everything else is just simply nonsense. People may ask, what were you doing before you came to this Krishna conscious movement? Often people ask that, isn't it? The answer is nonsense. That's all. 84 lakh species of nonsense. So I think it was last year in Russia, I told that today is my birthday. And I'm 30 years old, and they're wondering what's going on. This is the day I took initiation, Janmashtami 1975. So before that I was living dead. They have these horror movies of Frankenstein or some zombie, some body comes, so it's dead but it's alive at the same time. It's horrible. So I was a star in a horror movie. What were you doing before? I was a film star in a horror movie. What was the name of the movie? My Life. My life, my death, living death. So thank you for coming and reminding me that I have only to worship Prabhupada, and how shall we do that? That Prabhupada himself instructed that the Vyasa Puja, it's not simply an offering of flowers and fruit, but we have to see how by our lives we are serving the mission of the spiritual master. Otherwise, it's another excuse for a feast. Where someone told me that I really like there are so many Vyasa Pujas and so many gurus because we get so many feasts. Now every week we should have more and more gurus in our movement. And we can have more and more feasts. But those who know what is Vyasa Puja, they live it at every moment. It's not once a year. If you're only doing Vyasa Puja once a year, then you're never doing it. If it's not at every moment, then it's not actual Vyasa Puja. This ceremony is to formally offer that which is offered at every moment. So you are coming together to formally observe glorification. What is there to be glorified? Well, on the order of Prabhupada, if I can teach you to follow what he has taught, that is certainly something to be grateful for. So much grateful. Unlimitedly grateful. But from my side, I have to understand the factors Bhaktivinoda Thakur has presented for us. Jogata vichare kichu nahi paye tomara karunasha. That if at all I'm able to transmit anything to you of what Prabhupada has taught us, then it is also by his mercies. What is my qualification to instruct you? My qualification is that Prabhupada has told me to and I'm doing so. That's all. And everything else he's supplying. And if we have any other reason for accepting that position, but except to serve our Guru, if we have any other idea or anything else to instruct apart from what he teaches, then the weight of Guru means heavy, the weight of taking that position, unless we are holding on to the lotus feet of he who is Prabhupada, who is situated at the lotus feet of Krishna, then the weight of accepting that responsibility will push us down. We can only stay up by holding on to the lotus feet of Prabhupada. Otherwise, the weight of being praised, of thinking this praise is meant for me instead of thinking this is meant for Prabhupada, that will kill us spiritually. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Tai Shishya Tava Takiya Sarvada Nalaivo Puja Kai. I remain your servant always and not accept the worship of anyone. So, I'm not going to accept your service. I'm going to accept an offer to Prabhupada, that's all. Because it's not meant for me. If I think this is meant for me, then I'm finished. So, it's not something to... Sometimes people say, I hope you are very happy if are supposed like that, they have a happy birthday. It's something for me to enjoy. I'll be happy to see how you are advancing in your Krishna consciousness. That will be my happiness, if there's any happiness. There's no happiness in this material world, but the happiness is if we can help others come to Krishna. That means to teach them as we have learned. Of course, nowadays there's the idea that you just read Prabhupada's books, that's all. And then that's your Guru. Certainly, Prabhupada is Guru. We have to read his books. But as my godbrother asked me once, that he asked Prabhupada that there are two Bhagavats, the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. So, actually, in Chaitanya Charitamrita this is described, Ek Bhagavat Bhara Bhagavata Shastra, Ar Bhagavat Bhakta Bhakti Rasa Patra. The two kinds of Bhagavats, the book Bhagavat, that's the major. And another one is the person Bhagavat. Ek Bhagavat Bhara Bhagavata Shastra. And the other one is the devotee is also called Bhagavat in relationship to Bhagavan, who is full of bhakti ras, who is a devotee. Devotee is another Bhagavat. So Sarvabhavana Prabhu Tami asked Prabhupada, then why do you say that the person Bhagavat is more important than the book Bhagavat? Book Bhagavat is bigger. Because the person Bhagavat has to follow book, he has to teach what is in the book Bhagavat. But Prabhupada said, he gave the reply, why the person Bhagavat is more important? Prabhupada said, because he can pull your ear. Bhagavat Katha should go in your ear. But first you have to pull your ear, rascal, so that we can hear. Otherwise, our ear is full of dirt. You have to clean the ear. The dirt of considering that everything is meant for my enjoyment. So, if I have to say briefly what I have learned from Prabhupada that I hope to communicate to you all. And it's brief. Here's a sutra for our Sanskrit students. I hope you already know this. That you're learning how many? 1,000 sutras? Put this on top. That all endeavors, Akhila Artha, all endeavors, Krishna Cheshta, everything should be done for the pleasure of Krishna. So, otherwise everything is useless. And if we just understand this, then everything, that is Krishna consciousness. Everything should be done for the pleasure of Krishna. Prabhupada, we saw even people immediately decided to surrender their lives in Krishna's service, not having any idea what it was, just by seeing Prabhupada for a few seconds. Because how is that possible? Because his whole being is filled with Krishna Chaitanya, Krishna consciousness, the desire to please Krishna. Every thought, word, deed, glance, even Prabhupada's coughing is full of Krishna consciousness. If you see what's in the newspaper, they'll say, President Bush said this. President Bush said that if the other countries don't do what we like, we'll drop a nuclear bomb on them. Actually, President Reagan said that. He said that once, that we have a solution to the problem of the USSR. Bombing starts in 5 minutes. It was a joke, supposed to be, but the USSR didn't appreciate it. So that was a big thing in the newspaper. So whatever they say, we have a new plan. They always have new plans, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. At the end of the 5-year plan, everything's still a mess. Then they make another 10-year plan, and there's more mess. And then they build a super highway, and they think, this is what. Now they're building super highways all over India, announcing a new plan. 2,000 crore project. 1,000 crores for me, and 1,000 crores for building the road. So, these are the plans. We're making plans. How India will advance. What are the plans of the politics? All nonsense. And Prabhupada's coughing, that has more significance, even though he's not saying anything. More significance than all these plan makers. Because even Prabhupada's coughing is full of the desire. Her whole being is full of the desire to satisfy Krishna. So if we can communicate that, then there is some success. It's slow work, as we are being reminded again and again. It's very difficult to shake out this idea that I am the enjoyer and everything else, including Krishna, is meant for my enjoyment. This is the difference between Krishna consciousness and mundane religion. Mundane religion also includes Krishna consciousness. It means Krishna, which kind of Kama Mishra Bhakti or Jnana Mishra Bhakti. That's also mundane religion. I'm at the center and Krishna, He's there. And He's supreme and we sing songs to Him and He fulfills all my desires. Or Jnana Mishra Bhakti, God is very great and I'm going to become God. So this is mundane. It's possible to come out of this mundane way of thinking if we can hear again and again, I am not the enjoyer. Krishnate akila cheshtitam. All endeavors are simply meant for Krishna's pleasure. Not that all endeavors are meant, I'm praising Krishna and I'm happy by this, so that's good. I'm happy. Unfortunately, we're getting reminded again and again that devotees don't seem to be imbibing this consciousness. Please be careful. Just try to understand. Shouldn't be a difficult thing to understand. Even if we don't understand, at least theoretically, we should accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At least theoretically. Deities, we should at least theoretically understand that the deity is Krishna. And not think that it's some kind of ritual that we do, that in our religion, we can go to an interfaith meeting and say, well, in our religion, we have figures that we wave some lights at. Or in our religion, we have a ritual that we only take vegetarian food, and we have some prayers to mumble. We put in front of the statue, and we mumble some prayers, and then after that only we're allowed to eat it. But if we don't get it ready in time for the statue, then we can put it in front of a picture, and it's all the same. And we have wonderful food, we enjoy it, we love it very much. So this kind of attitude is not Krishna consciousness. This is not what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, not what Prabhupada taught. And if I'm going to represent Prabhupada, then it's not what I should teach either. That doesn't matter if the offering's not on time, you just, well, afterwards we'll offer to the picture. There's something's ready, so give that. Just like, the dog's hungry, okay, throw something. Doesn't matter, something. And for ourselves we're cooking nicely, but we have some religious ritual. Ding, 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 ding. Hurry up and make it prasad, we're hungry. So this kind of attitude then should smash your head, break your head, smash your head against the wall for being such a rascal. You didn't hear all these days. Stick the deities on the side and eat your meal in front of them, and someone's going to come and make some arrangement. Where they went off to take their dinner. When they're finished taking their dinner, they'll make some arrangement for the deity. So many times, big Brahmin worshipping the deity, then he gets a little upset and just leaves it. Or we're going to have Jagannath Rath Yatra and we're going to bring the deities and Jai Jagannath and then afterwards stick them in a box for another year. Just shut up and keep quiet and we'll pull you out after another year. So this is idol worship. This is not what Prabhupada came to teach us. So, who's going to teach? Shall we say, yes, it's very nice. You put the deities on the side, leave them out in the cold, no arrangement, and not even any idea of if there's any arrangement, and just stuff your face full of prasadam, sitting in front of them. And this is bhakti. Someone has to say something. In that situation, then if you don't get angry, then that means you're simply a hypocrite. Then you're like the karmis who, I don't disturb you, you don't disturb me, I'll go on with my sense gratification, you go on with your sense gratification, and we'll all meet together. See you later in hell. We'll all meet up together and say, what did you do to get here? What did you do to get here? We can tell our stories, my past life. It's already hellish consciousness. To think that the deity is to simply Arche Vishnu, Shiladir, Gurushu Naramatya, Vaishnava Jati Buddhi, is all hellish consciousness. Vyasadeva, who we're worshipping today, what's his description of hellish consciousness? That someone will get out a machine gun and shoot 50 people dead or throw some bombs. His description of hellish consciousness is to think that the deity is simply made of stone or wood, or to think that to judge the Vaishnava by some material qualification. This is a PhD Vaishnava and this is an uneducated Vaishnava. This is hellish consciousness. So, if we're hypocrites, then we should simply, you're having nice prasadam, sitting in front of the deity, and the deity is standing there cold, no arrangement, may stay there all night. No one knows, and then next day I will sit and yes, you're so wonderful. And then someone will complain, oh, so heavy. You're lucky. You think the deity is made of brass, and someone's getting angry, you're lucky. So lucky that someone cares enough for you to instruct you. Will you take that instruction? I've been wronged. Why do you get so angry? It's not such a big thing. According to Vyasadeva, it's hellish consciousness. We're supposed to be developing Krishna consciousness. But if we come to Krishna consciousness but we don't develop Krishna consciousness, then we actually have more opportunity to develop hellish consciousness. Because as long as we're not in Krishna consciousness, we're just in hell. But if we come close to the Vaishnavas and the deity, and we think the deity is just made out of stone and the devotees are just some ordinary people, and this is a PhD Vaishnava, and this is an uneducated Vaishnava, and this is Brahmin Vaishnava, and this is Shudra Vaishnava. And if we think like that, then we have more hellish consciousness. So this trying to instruct as Prabhupada has instructed, that Prabhupada, his pranam mantra, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatayane. His pranam mantra is for kicking out this voidism impersonalism. Impersonalism means not to recognize Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not to consider that I am meant to serve Krishna. It's impersonalism. Even if theoretically we accept Krishna as a person, but then which person? He's not just any person. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are meant to serve Him. So if we don't have an attitude of service to Him, then that's impersonalism. We haven't recognized what is our personal position in Krishna's service. We're meant to serve Him. And serve Him, not that, well, it's been a long day, we served you enough for today, so you just stand there and we'll make some arrangement for you later. We're going up to have dinner now, we'll come back and look after you later. And that's not service. That's impersonalism. And Prabhupada came to kick this out, but how deep-rooted it is. We may even do our Bhakti Shastri exam and explain very nicely why impersonalism is all wrong, but then it's only theoretical. Who's going to teach? Someone should try. Teaching means not just sitting in the classroom doing then you become a topper. I got 98% in Bhakti Shastri course. But that we'll see after Bhakti Shastri course. What are your activities? They shouldn't give any certificate or pass until 1 year after the course is finished. And then we'll see whether you pass Bhakti Shastri or not. We'll see in your life activity whether you're dedicated to serve Krishna. There should be a change in your life. If you've actually observed what is the message of Shastra, then there should be a change in our lives. The change should be that we become a sannyasi, actually. Sannyasi means to offer everything in the service of Krishna. Tridandi. The mind, body, words, Krishnate akila cheshtita. Everything should be for the service of Krishna. So that should be seen. If we've heard Shastra according to Prabhupada, otherwise, if we've heard Shastra according to the Mayavadis, or we've filtered the pure Shastra Vani comes through Parampara, comes all the way down from Krishna to Brahma, to Narad, to Vyas, to Madhvacharya, down to the whole Parampara, to Prabhupada, then our own spiritual message reaches all the way down to our ear, and then we mix it up with Mayavad. And then it comes out again in our activity, again Mayavad. So we shall see how we've understood Shastra. With or without doing Bhakti Shastri course, in our activities, how we're hearing. Prabhupada said, the only question I asked my Guru Maharaj is how I can serve you. That is the test, the litmus test of how we're hearing. Prabhupada gave the example that if Prabhupada means it's parampara example. If a man is a man is potent and a woman is fertile, then by their coming together, a child will be produced. So in the same way, if the Guru speaks, what he speaks is potent, substantial, and the disciple is fertile, that means Sushrushu Sharadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchihi. Sushrushu means wanting to serve in a humble mood, with faith. Then the result will be that one will actually hearing, that will have its effect. Then one will gain taste for hearing and chanting with the service mode. Otherwise the Mayavadis, they're also praising Vyasadeva. They also have their parampara, and Vyasadeva is there. And they also recite prayers to Vyasadeva. And the result is that they all go to hell. And anyone who hears them goes to hell. They're also supposedly praising Vyasadeva. But what is the result? They also perform Guru Puja on Guru Purnima. But we'll see the rest of the year, how does that manifest? In our activities, the rest of the year, at every moment. How does that manifest in our activities? So please consider this. What Prabhupada came to give us. Sambandha janiya bhajite bhajite abhiman how dur amani manad hoile kirtane adhika dibe tumi. So as in so many of these songs of the Vaishnava Acharyas, we have the whole philosophy just in a few words, summarized in a few words. Just hearing, knowing what is our relationship, going on with the process of Krishna consciousness, becoming free from false prestige, developing the desire to serve. Then, by the grace of the Vaishnavas, we will be blessed with the eligibility to serve Krishna. These songs are so much important for our spiritual advancement. So, I've agreed to come here to be praised, knowing that praise is meant for Prabhupada, who wanted his disciples to preach as he has preached and bring more devotees to Krishna consciousness, to initiate, to take the responsibility of guiding others. This modern philosophy, Vidvik philosophy, says that you just read the books and someone does a ceremony and then you're initiated by Prabhupada. Now, who's going to tell you you're a rascal? You are a rascal. Or who's going to impress that on you? Otherwise, you can just read the books. And what does it say in the books? Everything that Vyasadeva has said in relationship to Guru, that should just be reconstrued, edited, changed. One is supposed to serve senior Vaishnavas, and this Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur he offered sannyas. One of the reasons was to give the opportunity for junior devotees to serve senior devotees and be trained by them, that they formally take that position of guiding others. If someone has to do it, if you say, you just read the book. Someone says that, you please guide me as Prabhupada guide me, you just read the book. That's all. and no exam. You just read the book. I'm going inside the room now to smoke a cigarette, and you just read the book and see what to do. But there should be some example how to follow. Should be some personal guidance how to follow. So if we may say, well, in Ritvik system we also accept that yes, senior devotees should be served, but they don't take any responsibility. We'll just perform the sacrifice and then you're on your own, you and Prabhupada, that's all. But Prabhupada never said like that. He gave his disciples the responsibility that you take responsibility for others. It's copping out of the responsibility. It is a heavy responsibility. But that can be discharged by following what Prabhupada has taught us, teaching others to follow what Prabhupada has taught, practically also. That guidance should be there. Prabhupada also acted through his disciples and through the whole ISKCON movement. So we have plenty of guides if we look for that. But still our Krishna consciousness is not being impersonal. There should be some focus. Someone who we can go to ultimately and ask, what shall I do? How should I serve? We do have help. We're not alone. So this Vidvikism idea might seem to be a very good idea. That would solve all our problems of incompetent gurus. Guru is competent if he's teaching what Prabhupada is teaching. If he's teaching like that, if he's a guru. If he's not teaching like that, he's not fit to be a Ritvik either. So, what's the idea? That you just do a ceremony and then leave them on their own, but you're not even fit to do the ceremony. If you're not following, their idea is that we're following Prabhupada, therefore we should be Ritviks. If you're following Prabhupada, then you should take the responsibility to guide others, to understand that we are servants of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has very kindly manifested Himself in this world as His holy name, as the deity, as His place of pastimes, as the devotees. So we should serve these forms of the Lord. Learn how to serve. Even there's some inconvenience, we should not give up our service. There's some idea that the Guru, there's some paper written called the humble Guru. In other words, that you can be a Guru, but just don't be too much of a Guru. Be humble about it. If you're not humble, then you can't be a Guru. Part of that humility is, as Prabhupada said, do as I am doing. So to accept devotees' desire to serve Krishna, to accept that, to collect that, to offer that to Prabhupada, who offers to his Guru, who offers to his Guru, who offers to his Guru, to collect that and to encourage devotees in their desire to serve Krishna, to fan the spark, as Prabhupada said. That is the service which the humble servant of the Parampara has to attempt to perform to the best of his ability. And the rest is up to the individual, to the disciple. Even in the presence of the Supreme Lord, Kala Krishna Das, even in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he fell down. Or even Krishna, he tried to convince Duryodhana that I, Krishna, am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Duryodhana wouldn't be convinced. He had his independence. And even Krishna is directly standing in front of him and exhibiting Vishvarup, and still he refused to accept. So the stubbornness of the conditioned soul, then there's nothing you can do. But at least it is the duty of the devotees to try to help others come to Krishna. And if one comes forward with the idea that I want to serve, now I want to become a servant of the Vaishnavas, then it's the duty of those who are who have been accepted as the servant of the Vaishnavas to accept them and to help them on the path. But then again, if having come on the path, if they again choose to go off the path, that is their own misuse of their independence, that's their own misfortune. Prabhupada had great faith in the process of Krishna consciousness and in the mercy of the Acharyas. With this faith he came to America, where preaching Krishna consciousness was impossible. To some extent possible in India. But in America it was impossible. Now it's possible. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada's faith in the mercy of the holy name and the mercy of the Acharyas, in the process of Krishna consciousness. And his untiring, selfless endeavor to bring that to America and to the world. So we should have faith in the process of Krishna consciousness. Go on with that. Then we have good shelter. If we stick in this line, first we have to get into the line. The line going back to Godhead is simply this point. Everything is, we are meant for serving Krishna. It seems like a simple point. Theoretically, like I said, we may write the exam. Jiva Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. But to live that, to internalize that, if we can do so, then that is our path back to Godhead is opened. And if we don't do that, then Krishna consciousness is our religion. Then we can go to the interfaith conference representing Hinduism. We have Hindu Vaishnav or Vaishnav Hindu or some other Jati Buddhi. When we understand Vaishnav is, position of a Vaishnav is beyond any mundane designation. Nirupadi, no mundane designation. Our designation is the servant of Krishna who is adhok saja. Krishna is not attainable through any mundane method. Krishna is beyond the three modes of material nature. Krishna has nothing to do with with the contaminated consciousness of this material world. Just to understand this point, then our path back to Godhead is clear. But to understand this point, how many times do we have to hear? Hopefully sometime this may enter our ears. The dirt from our ears will get cleaned and that will enter our hearts, not simply our minds. If we can understand this point, I'm simply meant for the service of Krishna. So I'm repeating this again and again, preaching to myself and to yourself simultaneously, that we are simply meant for the service of Krishna. Just understand this. Everything else will follow from that. Then we can chant Hare Krishna. Then we can serve the Vaishnavas. Then we can serve the deity. Otherwise, unless we understand that, then what's the difference? There are so many people worshipping Krishna. You'll find in India so many temples. They have Krishna here, Ganesh there, Sai Baba on the other side. They're also doing worship. And what's the difference? We say, no, in our home, we're only worshipping Krishna, except sometimes Ganesh Chaturthi, or sometimes we worship demigods. But we worship them as Vaishnavas, to help us get rid of all our material obstacles so that we can have a happy life in this material world and worship Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings begin from Savadhanan Parityaja. That's already there for those who are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's supposed to be. Very high things to teach. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has taught us such high things. Amishananda Shukada Vashi, Radhika Madhava Charanadasi. He says, you see me living here in Swananda Sukada Kunj. Who do you think I am? You might think that this is Kedarnath Datta Babu, but he himself is performing his bhajan as a maidservant of Radhika Madhava. So these things he's teaching. But first, let's get these things right. We have a very high destination. And we can go very quickly if we get the basics right, if we can understand this. But if we don't get these basics right, then we can sing all day and night all these very high songs. We won't understand even a single word of it. Even we think we do. We can talk this gopi, that gopi, and so many, we won't understand a single word. So let's get the basics right. Let's first of all understand who is Krishna, who is the deity, what is the name of Krishna, understand all these things. Then our path will be clear. And if I can serve you in this respect, as Prabhupada has ordered me to do so, then I shall certainly attempt to do so. But you have to do your part also. Often we hear this, you have to have a Paramahamsa Guru. And who's going to say? The Paramahamsa Guru means they should always be talking Radha Krishna Leela. Then Prabhupada wasn't a Paramahamsa. And then you see this, so many, they went to Paramahamsa Gurus and now they're not even following four regulated principles. So Guru might have been a Paramahamsa, but may or maybe not. Actually, I have my doubts. If they're talking all Krishna Leela and not teaching you that Arche Vishnu Shila Dhir Guru Shu Naramati. If they're emphasizing so much gopis and they're presuming that we already know, we're already gone beyond all the basic levels. They just presume that. I have my doubts because I don't see that devotees are becoming so advanced so quickly. I mean, we're getting practical evidence of that regularly. But devotees think the deity is made of wood. As I was just saying that God is wood and wood is God. Wood is God means from the wood they make paper, from the paper they make money. So we've taken the deity as just a piece of wood or metal, and metal is God, or wood is God. So we may say we should have a Paramahamsa Guru who will teach us so many high things. We'll teach you high things. But first, understand the basic points. Otherwise we see there's so many there going to Paramahamsa Gurus, and you talk with them and they'll talk gopis, and they'll go home, pat their dog on the head and turn on the TV. So many. This is called sahajya, rascal. And they're thinking Paramahamsa, and you're just talking basic things. We'll talk basic things. What you need to hear. When you're ready to hear, then we may talk other things. But that also not in public. You need a Paramahamsa Guru. Difficult to say who's a Paramahamsa, but it's very easy to say who's not a Paramahamsa, who's talking in public about the gopis. Definitely not a Paramahamsa. So many leelas, all these things. That means they're not teaching what the person needs to hear. They're not teaching in the mood of service, how to help others come up to Krishna consciousness. But for the sense gratification of the hearers, and so that they will be lauded as great devotees, they like to tell stories. There are already so many cheats like that. Why add? Prabhupada didn't come to add to the number of cheaters. He came to add to the number of real devotees. So taking Prabhupada's name, if we simply increase the cheaters, that's worse cheating, because Prabhupada came to teach non-cheating religion, dharma, projata, kaitava atra, paramo nirmat saranam satam, the persons for non-envious people who don't envy Krishna. They don't want to rob from Krishna. That Krishna should be glorified, now I should be glorified. So such persons, they should glorify Krishna. Actual glorification of Krishna. Nivritta tarshai rupagiyamanat avarshadat chotra manobhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanavananam puman virajeta. What's the next line? What's the next line? Pashudna. That those who are free from material desires, they will glorify Krishna. They will take pleasure in glorifying Krishna, which is is very pleasing to hear, and that's the medicine for material life. Who will not agree to do that? One who is a Mayavadi, who's killing himself. So, by not teaching Krishna consciousness according to the parampara system, by teaching it according to our own speculation or according to our desire for name, fame and glory, then we become cheaters and hypocrites. And by not being prepared to accept the budding devotional service of others and offer that in parampara to Krishna, then we also become hypocrites. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us not to be hypocrites. Shalalta hi Vaishnavta. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, simplicity is Vaishnavism. Simplicity means no big show. Don't make a big show, that pretending to be something you're not. So instead of pretending to be something we're not, we shall proudly say that I am fortunate enough to be accepted by Prabhupada in his service, and I will try my best to help you become situated in that service also. And for that purpose, the this Vyasa Puja ceremony is arranged so that you can see where to go to get your direction, to go to Prabhupada, to go to Krishna, to go through the parampara. Someone who's taken the order from Guru to preach Krishna consciousness, then he should accept the offering of thankfulness. Offer that up to the parampara. This is the direction you have to go. Not that you read the book, you're on your own. There's a focus. It's a place to go. This is where your bhakti should go. And what is the qualification to collect that bhakti and offer it up? The qualification is that one should simply represent what he has heard. So we should not be hypocritical and deny that yes, we want to teach as Prabhupada has taught. And that is our only qualification for being here and accepting this praise which is meant for the great devotees who are serving Krishna and who have given us their mercy. So on this basis, this festival should go on. So thank you all for coming. Please try to understand what Krishna consciousness is, how we should serve Krishna, how we should serve the Vaishnavas, how we should serve Guru. I'm just going to make one or two announcements. I'm also going to thank the organizers. Usually that's done at the end of the festival. But what happens is everyone's gone by the end of the festival. There's only a few people left. So this is a little bit out of order, but we should thank the devotees who have been working hard to arrange this festival so that you can all come here and participate in this. So before you leave, you all please personally thank the organizers. Hare Krishna Prabhu is here. Murli Vadan Krishna, is he here? He's probably organizing something. Yeah, he's organizing something. He's there. Who else is there? Jagadishwa. Where is he? He's organizing something. They're running around. He's running around organizing. Radhika Pati Das. So, you please, before you leave, you express your thanks to them. Another announcement, devotees are I'm repeatedly being asked, what is your schedule, where are you going, what are you doing, and when is your book coming out on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? So, hopefully so that I don't have to answer this question more times, I'll give the answer as best I can now. Well, the answer to both is actually, I don't know. What is your schedule? I'm here, then I'm going to Chennai, then Vellore, then back to Chennai, then Calcutta, Mayapur, to do what's supposed to be my last little bits of research on Bhaktisiddhanta book. And then I don't know exactly where I'm going, but it's my concentration now. So I know you want to call me here and there, but it's in my mind, but later. Let me finish this first. Let me concentrate on this. When will the book be ready? I don't know. Glorification of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur looks like it's going to... I want to glorify him eternally. So, this book is, the work on it's been... We're now in the 21st year. So, you please bless me that this can be my eternal service to glorify the parampara. But you also please pray that this book be published before too long. But you can't, that's what they say, bring out volume 1, but then it's not that you just do research and then one part and then it's finished and then you do it. It doesn't work like that. That's the disease of our materialistic thinking. We think we can put everything in a box, see like this part is finished. Now I finish this module, now you go on to the next thing. But everything about him is unlimited. I do have one new book. Can show that? One book just came from the press. It's alright, you can leave it. Alright, closed open. This is you got on the cover. This is collected Back to Godhead articles about my travel, about different holy places. So it's been printed as a book now. So one way or other I brought out a new book. Many thanks to the devotees who produced that. So that's available at the book table. One more announcement that devotees who are supposed to be initiated by myself tomorrow, please bring beads to me, and they should be offered to the deity with your name on them, with the bead on the 8th string. If you don't understand all that, who can show this, what needs to be done for the... You know how the bead should be? On the 8th string there should be, and this, yeah. So, bring your beads, actually give them to Sri Giridhari, stand up. Give your beads to Sri Giridhari Prabhu and he'll check that it's all in order. Then the name should be on a string and offered. And the recommendation should be there also. All these things. Today is also the Vyasa Puja celebration of His Holiness Rangpad Swami, who has some disciples in Hyderabad and probably quite a few more aspiring disciples. So you can also, especially the Hyderabad devotees who he's helping a lot by coming here regularly, can also offer your gratefulness